Okay, hello everyone. Today I wanted to do another read along. This time it's a Mary Kate and Ashley book, that used to be popular in the 90s. They did a lot of, series like these. They did shows, um, I used to watch their cartoon in the 2000s. And of course, movies they did when they became adults. I guess they were a big deal in the 90s. So this one is called The New Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley, The Case of the Wild Wolf River. Montana, here we come. Mary Kate, Ashley cried. You can't make the phone ring by staring at it. I kept looking at the phone on my desk. Maybe it will work if I don't blink, I said. My twin sister Ashley and I were in the attic of our house in California. That's where we run the Olsen and Olsen Mystery Agency. Business is usually great, but it's been really slow ever since school's ended. Let's face it, Mary Kate, Ashley said. It's the middle of summer. Nothing is going on. Most people are on vacation. We haven't solved a new mystery in over a week. I tapped my fingers on the desk. What are we going to do all summer if we can't solve mysteries? Ashley sat down at her desk. We can go to the beach, she suggested. The beach. I jumped. Yeah, maybe we'll find some jewels buried in the sand. We can figure out who hid them there, or maybe there's a secret cave hidden in the bluffs, or maybe we can just swim, Ashley interrupted me. I never thought of that, I joked. I love swimming as much as Ashley does, but most of all, I love solving mysteries. Clue, our basset hound, came running into the attic. Clue is the silent partner in our detective agency. She has a real nose for sniffing out important clues. Wait a minute, what's that soggy thing in Clue's mouth? Ashley asked. Your scrunchie, I said. I didn't want Clue's detective skills to get rusty, so I had her sniff your hairbrush, and then I told her to follow the scent to your scrunchie. Gross, Ashley took the scrunchie from Clue's mouth. Mary Kate, you have to be patient, she went on. Who knows? Our best case ever might be just around the corner. That's easy for you to say. Ashley and I may look alike, but we think in different ways. If you could see our thoughts, Ashley's would be straight lines. Mine would be zigzags and squiggles. She's always sensitive and patient, but I like to charge right into things. I grabbed the phone so fast I bumped my elbow on the desk. Ouch, I yelped into the phone. Oops, Olsen, can we help you? Can you come with me to the beach? A voice said. It's too hot to stay inside. It was our friend Samantha Samuels. Sorry, Samantha, I said, but we can't close our mystery agency to go to the beach. Ashley's eyes grew wide. She snatched up the phone on her desk. Oh, yes, we can, she told Samantha. We'll meet you at the beach in an hour, next to the ice cream stand. But Ashley, I said after we hung up, what if somebody calls with the biggest mystery in the world while we're tossing frisbees at the beach? Then whoever is it will call again, Ashley said. Come on, don't you want to jump into the nice cold water? Wiggle your toes in the sand? Eat an ice cream slushie with cherry syrup? I leaned back in my chair and closed my eyes. It was hot, and that cherry slushie sounded great. Okay, I said, let's put on our swimsuits. Great. Ashley jumped up and ran toward the stairs. I started to follow her, but then the phone rang again. It's probably Samantha. Don't worry, we'll bring our boogie boards, I said. What's a boogie board? A boy asked. I didn't recognize his voice. Who is this? This is Jason White Eagle, he said. This is the Olsen and Olsen Mystery Agency. home of the famous Trenchcoat Twins? This is the Trenchcoat Twins. Well, one of them, I said. I'm Mary Kate Olsen. How did you hear of us? I read about you in Cool Kids magazine, Jason explained. You're supposed to be awesome detectives, and I need a mystery solved. Yes, a mystery. I pumped a fist into the air. What's the mystery? I asked. I live on my Grandpa Joe's ranch in Montana. We're Native Americans of the Blackfoot tribe. Grandpa has a collection of valuable crafts, and they're disappearing one by one. That's awful, I said. What kind of valuable crafts? A bearded tribal necklace, a feathered headdress, a drum, a wooden carving of a wolf. The first members of our tribe made these crafts hundreds of years ago. Then they were passed down from family to family. Now they belong to my grandma, except she doesn't have most of them anymore. They've been stolen. Can you help us? We'll be there tomorrow, I answered. I hung up the phone and glanced at the map of the U.S. Montana was all the way on the top of the country. Ashley, I cried, we'd better get packed. Our next case is in Montana. The Trenchcoat Twins were back in business. Stolen treasures. Are you sure this is the same sky we have in California? Ashley asked Jason and his grandpa. We had just arrived at the White Eagle Ranch. Grandpa Joe laughed. That's why we call Montana Big Sky Country. Big Sky Country, I repeated. I like it here. Jason pointed to Clue. I think your dog likes it here, too. Her tail hasn't stopped wagging once. Clue barked. She wore a red bandana around her neck. Ashley and I were also dressed for the ranch, in jeans and plaid shirts. You'll be staying at the main house, Jason said, but I'll show you around the ranch first. Ashley frowned. I knew just what she was thinking. It looks kind of big. I might need my hiking boots if we're going to walk around the whole ranch. The White Eagle Ranch is much too large for walking, Grandpa Joe said. He put his fingers in his mouth and whistled. A minute later, 2 ranch hands came over leading 3 beautiful horses. Meet Butterscotch. Cloud is my horse, Jason told us proudly. I love to ride horses, I cried. I'm still a beginner, Ashley said nervously. Then you take Tumbleweed, Jason suggested. She's as gentle as a lamb. What about Clue? No problem, Jason said. He patted a basket attached to Cloud's saddle. Clue can ride in here. I'll take your suitcases back to the main house, Grandpa Joe said. Ashley turned to me. Do you have your tape recorder? Check, I said. Do you have your notebook? Check, Ashley replied. We're ready to start our case. The tape recorder and the notebook were gifts from our great-grandma Olive. She used to read us all these neat mystery stories until we decided to solve mysteries ourselves. And Great-Grandma Olive told us that a good detective is always prepared. That's why Ashley and I never go anywhere without our detective equipment. This part of Montana is called the Great Plains. The land is flat. It's perfect for raising cattle. That's our coral. Ashley and I stared at the coral. There must be 100 cows in here, Ashley said. I guess you never run out of milk for your cereal, Jason. Those aren't cows, those are bulls. Whoops, I said. I guess we're not very good cowgirls yet. But we are good detectives. So tell us more about your mystery. Well, not many people have real crafts made by the Blackfoot Indians. Grandpa Joe liked to share them with our guests. Our ranch is also a hotel. Grandpa Joe displayed the artifacts in the main house, and people from all over the country used to come and see them. Used to? The headdress, drum, and necklace are gone. The only thing left is the wolf carving, until someone tries to steal that too. Are you sure someone stole them? Maybe they're just lost. Jason shrugged. Grandpa Joe kept them in a very special room. Nobody ever moved them, so they couldn't have gotten lost. Ashley pulled her detective notebook out of her pocket and began writing down what Jason said. We called the sheriff. He looked around, but he said it didn't appear as if anyone broke into the house. And he checked for fingerprints, but he didn't find anything. Did someone always watch the crafts when guests came to look at them? Ashley asked. And do you keep your house locked at night? Always, Jason answered. Now that's what I call a mystery, I said. Ashley nodded. That's why we're here? We rode past a group of small horses made of wood. A bunch of kids played tag in a yard. One man was starting up a barbecue. The ranch hands and their families live here, Jason said. Could any of them be suspects? I asked. Jason shook his head. They were all questioned and cleared off by the sheriff. Good, said Ashley. They look so nice. Two kids waved to us. Everyone is happy to have the Trenchcoat twins on the case. You guys are famous. But as we turned our horses toward the main house, I noticed a big piece of yellow paper tacked to a fence. I rode Butterscotch closer and tilted my head to read it. Uh-oh, I said. I don't think everyone is happy we're here. Why not, Mary Kate? Ashley asked. I pointed to the note. Written on it in big black letters were the words, Trenchcoat twins, go home, or your lives will be in danger. Mystery guests. It's a threat, Ashley said with a gulp, but why would anyone want us to go away? I yanked the note off the fence. I can think of only one person who would want us to leave, the thief. So that must mean whoever wrote this is the thief. Ashley nodded. That note is our first clue. Well, we're not going home, so the thief better watch out. Jason gave us the thumbs up. Way to go, sleuths. I pulled out my mini tape recorder and spoke into it. July 22nd, 11:30 a.m. White Eagle Ranch, Montana. Clue number 1. Creepy note, possibly written by... I heard the thunder of hooves. I switched off my tape recorder and whirled around. A boy with spiky hair charged toward us on a black horse. He stopped his horse so close to us that its hooves kicked up dust right into our faces. I sneezed. So did Butterscotch. The boy looked down his nose at Ashley and me. Are you the Trenchcoat twins? That's us, Ashley said. Then why aren't you wearing trench coats? Ashley shrugged. We left our coats at home. The boy rolled his eyes. Maybe you left your detective rings at home, too. Ashley gasped. I looked over at Jason. Did he know this guy? Jason sighed. I'd like to apologize for my friend Weasel Coleman, he said. Weasel? I repeated. My real name is Mike, but I like Weasel. Weasels are fast. Weasels are smart. Weasels are a little mean, Ashley interrupted. Weasel grinned, but it wasn't a friendly grin, it was a nasty one. We rode toward the main house. Weasel followed us. So who do you think stole the crafts? Weasel called from his horse. We don't know yet. We just got here. A good detective would have about 10 suspects already. Jason leaned over and whispered to me, Weasel is always reading mystery books and renting spy videos. He thinks he knows everything about mysteries. Well, he doesn't know everything about us. We've never had a case we couldn't solve. We stopped our horses in front of the main house. The outside was painted white with dark green shutters. There was a porch up front filled with wicker rocking chairs. What a great house, I said, and a long, shiny black car was parked in the driveway. Just as we started to climb down from our horses, a chauffeur opened the back door of the car, and two people stepped out. The first one was a woman. She wore a yellow dress, lots and lots of gold jewelry, and a straw cowboy hat. The other one, a man, had a white suit. He wore a cowboy hat too, but they sure didn't look like cowboys. Who are they? I asked. That's Emily and Henry Bixby. They own dozens of buildings in New York City. Aren't you two supposed to know things like that? Weasel asked. What kind of detectives are you anyway? I didn't bother to answer him. Ashley stared at the woman's jewelry. I thought she looked rich. What are they doing here? The Bixbys stay at the ranch one weekend every month. They say they like to get away from the big city. Ashley and I glanced at each other. This could be another clue. Do they stay in the main house? Are you kidding? Weasel laughed. The Bixbys stay in the private guest house with 2 whole bathrooms. Jason laughed. And their dog, Cinnamon, drinks spring water from a crystal dish. A little brown chihuahua peeked out of Emily's dress pocket. Clue must have seen him too, but she barked softly. Oh, Ashley said. Look how cute. Cute? Weasel cried. He's an ankle-biting rat. They don't seem very friendly, I whispered to Jason. Grandpa Joe stepped out on the porch. Henry, Emily, welcome back. I hope your stay will be pleasant. Henry tipped the brim of his hat. It'll be a lot more pleasant if you agree to sell us your wolf carving, he said. Grandpa Joe smiled and shook his head. I'm afraid I haven't changed my mind. When the Bixbys went inside, I turned to Jason. What was that all about? Every time the Bixbys visit, they try to buy my grandpa's crafts, Jason explained, for tons and tons of money. Did your grandpa ever sell them anything? Ashley asked. Jason shook his head. No, Grandpa Joe wouldn't sell those artifacts for all the money in the world. That is, what's left of them. Ashley smiled at me. I knew what she was thinking because I was thinking the same thing. Emily and Henry Bixby were suspects 1 and 2. Do you think they would have left that note for us? Well, we don't know exactly when they got here, I thought out loud. They could have heard we were coming. We'll definitely need to do more investigating, Ashley said. Jason, did the Bixby stay at the ranch on the days that the crafts were stolen? I'm not sure, he answered. When people make reservations to stay here, does your grandpa write it down? Ashley asked. Jason's eyes lit up. Yeah, he writes the names on his calendar. We can check it out. We tied our horses to a row of hitching posts. Jason helped Clue out of the basket. Then we hurried to the main house. The Bixbys always drank iced tea in the living room when they were here, Jason whispered. So let's go to my grandpa's office right now. We tiptoed past the living room into Grandpa Joe's office. We ran straight to a huge calendar hanging on the wall. Jason flipped back the pages. The Bixbys started coming about 4 months ago. He pointed to the dates. See, this is when they stayed here in June, in May, in April, in March. Ashley wrote down each date in her book. Then she showed it to Jason. Are these the same days that the artifacts were stolen? Well, none of the artifacts disappeared in March. Jason's eyes widened. But those other days were definitely the days when the crafts were taken. I'll never forget those horrible days. I snapped my fingers. Aha! Then the Bixbys must be the thieves. Maybe they came in March, saw your family treasures, and decided to start stealing them the next month. Okay, so we got to page 26 of Mary Kate and Ashley Adventures, Wild Wolf River, and I hope you follow along for the next chapters. Thank you.